Hello and welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Skull podcast, coming to you on a Friday of all days. Different day. We haven't been on a Friday since a long time ago, but I thought we would do a live podcast. And also my co-host who joins me now, Matt, mentioned to me earlier on that what was it, International Podcasting Day, is that right?
Yeah, there's a day for everything now, it seems, and today is the day for the podcasts.
Yeah, but to be quite honest with you, as much as I'd like to say we were doing it for that day, we had plans. I thought we'd do a podcast. This is going to be our regular show that would normally go out on Monday. But don't forget next week, as well as this podcast, depending on when you listen to it, on Tuesday, I will be dropping King of the Ring retrospective. Will be going out, so it's a double dose really in this week, but we've had lots of emails, plenty of stuff to talk about, and I want to get the elephant out of the room, Matt, because this is the one thing I've had all week is this whole business of TNA wrestling. Are they selling? Are they for sale? Who will buy them? This, that and the other. It's very strange, and quite frankly, I titled this episode. I said to Matt before we went up live, I said I titled this "Broken TNA" because that's what it seems like at the moment. Matt, is there any end to drama in TNA wrestling? Because just when you think everything's going smooth, something else happens like this, and we're hearing all kinds of strange things, like to the point where they don't even know if they can fund Bound for Glory. It's not good times for TNA currently.
No, it definitely doesn't seem so, does it? I mean, they say all publicity is good publicity, but I can't see it working in TNA's favour because all the stuff that's coming out, it's just been quite negative. I mean, I think the product's good. The product's the best it's been in a long time, but the other side of it, I just think it's not really falling into place for them at all.
Yeah, they're in a lot of problems now. I thought we'd discuss TNA wrestling because when you talk about who could possibly take over TNA, and there have been lots of rumours, and I thought rather than reading out all the questions singly and all the rest of it, we'll be going through it forever. I thought we'd just talk about it as a topic tonight, and just the different ways that everything could go depending on who got it, because a lot of people I've had questions in this week are saying that Vince McMahon, WWE are interested in TNA, they want to buy it, and then rumours floating around that TNA is priced at somewhere in the region of $30 million, Matt. Not sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I've heard stuff like even if Billy Corgan did manage to sort of gain control of the company, that even his amassed wealth would not be enough to save the company.
Yeah. And then also and another wrestling promotion has been taken interest into this, which is Ring of Honor, which has been floating around as well, and people have been saying like. The main question is why would WWE want to buy it? And secondly, to that is what would Ring of Honor do with it, etc., etc. So I thought we'd just talk, out there. It's a topic at the moment, and we talk about the different ways it could all go. And now, if we start with WWE, Matt, what would WWE gain from purchasing TNA wrestling? Quite frankly, because the way I look at it, Matt, and I don't know if you agree, but from what I understand, not many of their wrestlers are under a full-time contract, so they're not going to gain instant access to their talent anymore, because that's pretty much non-existent, because most of those guys now, because of TNA not working house shows, will go and work on an indie show on a weekend to get a bit more money. So that's not there. So the only thing I can think, the reason why WWE would want to purchase this is because of the library, the video library, and maybe they see that as being good content for the network. I really don't understand why WWE would want to purchase it. It's probably like loose change to them getting TNA, but even still, I don't know what WWE would really gain out of it, considering they have the best TNA talent in NXT right now. A lot of those guys are there. So, if you were WWE, Matt, would you just wait and sort of think, let it crash and burn, and then we'll take the best out of it then? What do you think they're thinking is, if that's true, if you were WWE?
I suppose it's that opportunity, but you don't really want to miss the opportunity, I suppose, at the same time. If you can get your bid in, and it's at a reasonable price, and it will gain you access to that library, I mean, that could be a gold mine for them. I mean, they could bring out the best of AJ Styles, the best of Samoa Joe, best of Austin Aries, best of Bobby Roode. I'm sure Bobby Roode will have a great career in WWE. It would be great for him to have access to all that sort of back catalogue.
That's a great point, actually. I didn't think about that. But yeah, how many guys have gone through TNA that are currently in WWE, past and present? So, yeah, I mean, definitely video archives are there. I mean, one thing I've got to say, and Vince McMahon and Triple H or whoever, they're not that silly, because, let's face it, if you buy TNA up, what happens? Somewhere else opens, somewhere else. Now people will look at, you look at what's happened to Jeff Jarrett, Matt. This whole promise of Global Force Wrestling or whatever it was, that's not even got off the ground. I mean, they've done nothing. We've been promised all sorts of things. So it's definitely harder to get access on TV now, because that's what's holding them back currently. But here's my other thinking to this, Matt, and if you look at the other side of it, of course, the other rumour floating about is about Ring of Honor, Matt. Now, I should absolutely say to everybody is that it's worth pointing out is that it's not Ring of Honor as such. It's not their promoters that would be buying it. It's the network that they're currently on, because Ring of Honor are owned by the Sinclair network, and it's Sinclair network that want to buy TNA. It's not Ring of Honor. And from what I gather, the Sinclair network would have TNA as its own identity. So, meaning to say that they wouldn't intertwine the two companies as such. Which I guess in some ways, Matt, makes some sense to have. Two is better than one. TNA, maybe all they need is to be, have the right person at the top, and they think there's a genuine chance of getting that product off again, because it's the thing is, if you think about it, Matt, what could you integrate into a product like Ring of Honor that's so different from the TNA product? Because for a Ring of Honor, I guess, well, you're gonna have all the ring equipment, the cameras, etc., etc. There's probably a bit of gain to have that kind of stuff. Also, think about it territory-wise. They have quite a nice little fan base where they are. And again, that puts Ring of Honor down there as well. So the Sinclair Broadcasting Network definitely have an interest in this. And I wonder if WWE look at that and think, hang on a minute, even we don't have this kind of clout where we can, WWE are not even able to have Sinclair Network that can just put on Ring of Honor at all the primetime spots whenever they want to get their stuff very much viewed. So it would be a huge gain for Ring of Honor. What do you think are the benefits there for Ring of Honor, Matt, in terms of them taking over and the significant value to up their ante? And do you think it would be wise to keep it as a separate company?
I guess they could do that, but I think that they would have the opportunity then to sort of mix their talent. I mean, I'm a big fan of when they do a work with New Japan and Ring of Honor and New Japan when they work together. Mm-hmm. That's a great amalgamation. They have some great combinations of wrestlers that go against each other and those kind of things. And one of the particular fond eras of WWE even is people remember that invasion angle, mm-hmm. and they could sort of recreate that kind of thing in a new generation with that kind of owning both companies. They'd be able to swap talent back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can see. So I can see sense on both sides. I think really WWE. I would not expect WWE to keep TNA afloat. I would say I would be the last thing on my mind would be that WWE will keep TNA running as its own product. I couldn't imagine that happening, considering they've got NXT I just think it would be too close to what they already have, because they have their own version of the indie product now. So that's, and let's face it, going out on, what is it, Pop TV or whatever they're on now, it's not exactly going to gain WWE a new audience, is it? So in terms of that, Matt, I mean, like you say, the videos, the library that they have, maybe that is what WWE are looking at. I mean, talent-wise, yeah, everyone can say, well, yeah, they can get more talent. But at the moment, Matt, WWE doesn't seem to have too much of a problem getting TNA talent, do they? I mean, that's certainly probably not the highest reason why they would purchase TNA currently, because I think, most of their guys are pretty realistic, and jumping over now after seeing the likes of AJ Styles in WWE, kind of, that door is wide open almost. Like, guys are no longer nervous about going to WWE, because yes, you can still win the heavyweight title even if you've been on TNA. So you haven't got to go in anymore with that fear of knowing that you was from TNA. Other things, I guess, Matt, as well, is that, guys like Sting, who spent a long time in TNA, even he, you look at I know we had a DVD of him, but I mean, not exactly great when you can't use, almost a decade's worth of matches that he had with TNA, is it, I suppose? I mean, there's definitely gains with having that library, for sure, now you've said it. I think we've lost him. Are you there, Matt? I think he's gone. Oh, he's there. Hang on a minute. Oh, I've just dropped him. I just dropped the conversation. Let's get him back on. Let's call him through. The joys of live podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. Never ceases to amaze me with the beautiful Skype. Does such a great job, as always, keeping us up. Guys, don't forget to email me in as well whilst we try and get Matt on the show. The Wrestling Skull Podcast at gmail.com. And I think Matt's back with us. Hello, Matt. He's there. Yeah, good. So Matt, just talking about the videos itself.
Out, but that's the joys of the live show, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I said that. The joys on International Podcasting Day. Yes, why not have one of those thrown in there? Always seems to happen. However, I will say one thing, Matt.
In a little bit.
Yes, I will say one thing. I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts, and believe it or not, even the most professional run podcasts, not saying this is not professional, but by some of the biggest superstars, have problems with connections. So I'm glad we're not the only ones. It happens everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. So just the joys of Skype, for sure. Yeah. Matt, just talking about that, going back to that video library, and I was talking about Sting. I mean, there certainly is a lot to gain, I guess, for WWE if they get it. Would you see any other reason that WWE would purchase TNA and keep it afloat? Have we lost him again? Not sure. I think he's gone again. Oh, he's gone again. It's going to be one of those nights, people. It's going to be one of those nights. We're going to see if we can get him back on. I'm gonna read out a question in the meantime whilst we try and get that sorted out. Let's take the